Hey
Welcome to hell.
everyone.
Welcome to hell. We're back.
You've returned
Welcome
for
back.
another week.
Indeed. We are
Um,
here in the third stall.
we are. Welcome back to the lobotomies in the ladies' room. We're here in the third stall, and it is a joyous place, but today it's a little bit of an angry place. We don't even have like a little thought starter for you. We're just gonna get to the meat and potatoes of things. The world is on fire. I mean, literally and metaphorically. We knew this, yes, but I feel like over the past couple days, especially Kyra and I have been talking about the political happenings. And again, we'll make another disclaimer. If you're not with the people, for the people, this is not the place for you.
Yeah, this is especially not an episode you want to be listening to if you're like vehemently pro-life.
Right.
Because I'm going to say some things and Donovan's going to say some things. And if you look, I believe that everyone is entitled to their opinion. You know what? There are some people who have some genuinely rational pro-life beliefs, and I respect that. However, this is not a safe space for you this week, so you may want to exit and catch up on old episodes. Hang out in the
We
next
have
one,
many. Is this our 19th episode?
girl. It really might be.
I think it is our 19th. We're almost to our 20th episode. I cannot believe it. That's crazy.
Gag it.
Love that for us. But as Kyra said, you can, take exit, stage left. Because we're gonna be talking about some things today. While we're gonna get on like mini topics, I think just over the past like 48 hours or so, there have been so many things that are just like how much more suffering? How many more people have to die? How many people have to be put in danger? How many more families have to be separated? How many, like, I, like, when? What is the cap? And I feel like for this current administration, there is no cap. It is, like, everyone is disposable, including people in their own parties.
I would have to agree. I think even to some at this point, Trump is disposable, which is crazy to think about considering he is the poster child for this fuck ass mouse.
Yeah.
But you know what? Some people are better at killing their darlings than others. And the right seems to have no problem with that.
No, they don't. Um, we're gonna get into the news yesterday about the leak from Todd Blanche talking about he's going to try to introduce a national abortion ban. But I also want to put on top of that, so the Endangered Species Act, as y'all know, I'm a science teacher, y'all. And I've been in my conservation bag. I've always like loved the planet, loved the earth. When I was younger, I wanted to be a marine biologist until I found out what that had to take. And I was like, oh, girl, maybe I do like fashion more after all. But um, with global warming, obviously, if people who don't think global warming or climate change is real confuse me like thoroughly. Um, But all of these data centers being put in neighborhoods and contaminating the water, taking up water supply. I just saw a video of a woman. She was at some point in the Colorado River, and she had posted like a video from like a year ago to today in a data center, of course, is near. And the way that the water has like dried up, and before, when people were like, oh, the next war is going to be a war on water, I was kind of like, well, that's dystopian. But now that that's literally here, I'm like, oh, it absolutely is going to be about water because you have data centers being put up everywhere, contaminated, especially Data centers are being put in communities of color, as everything experimental has been historically in this country. Um, you have the Trump administration opening up national parks and indigenous land for building. For I think when I looked at it, it was like they can build like highways and like recreational stuff. And I'm like, but for what? Like, what more do we need? You go to Colorado, you go to Arizona, you go to California, wherever, Montana, and go in the mountains, go wherever.
Hmm.
What makes you look at these beautiful natural phenomena and go, let me put a highway right there?
Well, Steve, they're not thinking of the beauty though, and I think that that was something that I definitely had to unlearn
Mm,
a few years ago, where I kept thinking, because this is not the first time this has been floated by this administration. I mean, dude, we've
mhm.
been stuck with these bitches for 10 years.
Well, it is greed above all.
But no, they're not. It is greed that even the Bible could not account for. Like,
Hmm.
they don't look at these natural, what were once protected lands
Hmm.
as beauty, as recreation in and of themselves. They look at it and they go, well, that's a waste of fucking space. Why is there not a huge building here? Because,
Right,
bitch, they don't, big buildings don't belong on fucking buttes. Like, what are we talking about?
right.
Um, they don't view animals as existing within their own ecosystem. They
Hmm.
view animals living within the human ecosystem,
Hmm.
even though, literally scientifically speaking, animals have existed far longer, even in all of their evolutionary forms, have existed far longer beyond humans. And it's so fascinating because there was apparently I saw this on Twitter. There's apparently some scientists that were talking about, in order for the Earth to keep spinning,
Hmm.
we need to cut our population, the human population, in half.
Hmm.
Let me be so fucking clear. I am willing to bet you money that those scientists that allegedly said that were all white. White people don't know how to live within community of the world around them. They just don't. They don't.
No.
Look at a single history textbook. There's never been a time when white people were able to just live in community with God's green earth around them.
No.
But furthermore, we have access to house and feed roughly 11 billion people currently.
Hmm.
And how many people are on this planet? Less than that.
Yeah. I think it's like 8 point something at this point.
Yeah, so less
Yeah.
than that. So that alone, there is no way, shape, or form that we need to cut our population from 8 to 8.5 billion people down to
Hmm.
4 billion people. I don't even
Hmm.
think bitches understand how much a billion is, and at
They
times,
don't.
neither do I. It is such an insurmountable number.
Hmm.
But
And also the fact that we have the facilities, at least here, to support the people who are here. Think of all of these vacant homes. There's like a survey of how many vacant homes are in the US, and everyone could be housed if corporate companies, stop buying them up. If we would actually put the money that we're sending into wars, pointless wars, and like sending off all this money to countries that are committing genocides, um, if we put that into the infrastructure of the states and actually, you know, uphold the the image, the concept of what they say America is, but that's not going to happen because we know who's at the top and we
you
know
know,
who they're really talking about.
God
But
forbid, God forbid anybody says that on like a major scale, and now we're terrorists, right? Like, see, words used to mean things. Terrorism used to mean things. Now it just means
Mhm.
this administration, we don't like you, so you're a terrorist. Bitch, I think you're a terrorist. Now what? Like,
Now
We
we're both just pointing at each
can
other.
all and fucking Spider-Man meme it up about you're a
Right.
terrorist, no, you're a terrorist, no, you are. Like, words used to mean things. Words like terror, words like terrorism had impact. Words
Mm-hmm.
like climate, and you know what? This is why I don't think people take climate change that fucking seriously. Is one, they had to stop saying global warming because a bunch of dipshits who don't believe in science thought that it meant it was going to be hot all the fucking time, and they were like, "Well, why are our winters getting dangerously cold then?" Okay, dumbass, it's climate change. Well, the climate's not changing that much here because it's happening incrementally over time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not remember when you would go outside, whether you were in the city or in the suburbs, in the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and every single, like, you couldn't turn a fucking corner without being swarmed by lightning bugs? When's the
Yeah.
last freaking time you saw one? How often,
I haven't I haven't seen a lot of things in a very long time.
but between like
Like,
lightning bugs and the bees and
mm,
spider populations and all of these other microorganisms that we like are like, oh, what are you talking about, Clem?
even like birds' migration patterns have changed. Like, you think of, oh, I haven't like all the geese that you would see flying south. Them girls are here year round. Why? Mind you, my first winter that I moved to New York, on Christmas Day, I wore a hoodie. That's all I needed to wear.
Yeah, there's a Christmas a few years ago here that was 70 fucking degrees.
But you want to say climate change isn't real?
See, and I think this is the problem too, is like these fucking people like to play scientist without reading a single lick of scientific proof or evidence. And I think a lot of people have gotten way too fucking comfortable, especially in the last year, of covering their eyes and covering their ears and going, la 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 la, that's not true. And when somebody presents them with fact, they're like, well, that's biased. Biased to what,
Well,
bitch? It's the scientific method.
there's also a lot of people who are just willingly incompetent
Well, yes.
and like they're comfortable in it
Yeah.
because accountability has been obsolete for so long at this point that it's like, well, why would I, one, acknowledge fact? Why would I care? And why would I put in the work to help the greater good when I could just help myself?
I think people who are stupid must be so happy.
See, I think that too, but then it's like it's 50-50 because I feel like they're either really just like happy being oblivious, but I can also imagine that can't exactly feel good because like the world is happening around you and you're just like in this bubble. Which I mean how that's how a lot of people are living right now. But that can't be sustainable for your own mental health,
I think
physical health.
I fear, unfortunately, um, a lot of people don't like, especially adults. And I
Mhm.
noticed this even in the way in which I was raised, with like the types of adults that I was surrounded
Mhm.
by. I've noticed that after a certain age, adults don't like being challenged on their worldview.
No, they don't.
And I think, unfortunately, especially with this administration, also, let me be so clear. The issues we're having now are not new.
Mm-mm.
The issues that we're facing with this administration is not unique to this administration. Like, before we even continue down this thought process,
Mhm.
what we're dealing with in the US is a 250-year-old problem.
Mhm.
This is not a last decade. This is not a last 15 years. No, this is like, you could arguably say that the mainstreaming of this issue has been happening since the 80s during Reagan's era. However, at the core, these problems are rooted in the foundation and the inception of America and American politics.
Mhm.
That said, I have noticed, especially in the last 10 to 15 years, a lot of people really, really do not want their worldview challenged, even a little bit. And now that you have a group of people who are dependent on those
Mhm.
same adults that don't want their worldview challenged, saying stupid, they're willing to put these people, and these people are willing to put themselves, because this is not like it's happening against their will. They're aware, okay?
Mhm.
People are stupid, but they're not like they're not unaware.
Mhm.
They're allowing themselves to be propagandized because the worldview that they have is so much more comfortable than acknowledging that they have some moral and ethical failing.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, bitch, like, do some fucking psychedelics and have an ego death so that way we can just move on and get past this. Like, truly, madly, deeply kill the inner self so that way you can,
Mhm.
like, rise the next day and realize that you've got some fucking work to do. I'm real sick of this, like, oh, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. Well, you're not a dog, you're a human being with access.
Exactly.
With we're in the technological age, bitch. You have access to more knowledge than anybody ever before.
Beyond belief.
And even if you didn't, go to a fucking library.
But you know they're trying to get rid of those too.
That is the only data center that I see.
Like, period. Period. But I feel like it's been this constant ebb and flow of intense misogyny, racism, classism,
Hmm.
like more. I feel like at this point, something that I feel like is, well, it's not even particular to this administration either, but I feel like in our current living time, it's that all of it is hitting at once.
Yeah.
Like we have the misogyny because this administration hates women, and the women in this administration also hate women. Um, the racism, the immense classism, like all of the country's budget, all of these loopholes they're building, all of this laundering they're doing just to fulfill the 1% and also fill their own pockets. Like that, what's the CEO of, I think it was OpenAI, like the fact that he was able to say live on a mic and also in like a arena full of people, like, oh yeah, AI is going to get to the point where you have zero autonomy. And it's like, yeah,
I don't know who this you he's speaking to is because I know it's not me.
uh, that's what I said. I'm like, who?
I
Who
know.
are we referring? What do you mean you? Because that finger's not pointing at me. Like, she's like, oh yeah, you're not gonna have any autonomy. You're not gonna have any privacy. Da, 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 da.
First of all, I knew, okay, so this is actually going to pigeonhole, or not really pigeonhole, but it's going to be a great through line to what we're talking about in terms of healthcare access.
Mm-hmm.
The day Roe versus Wade was overturned,
Mm-hmm.
I had about 30 minutes of being upset about the lack of abortion care being protected
Mm-hmm.
on a federal level. About 30 minutes to an hour after that decision came out,
Mm-hmm.
I was struck with the iciest chill of dread because the true purpose of Roe v. Wade was less
Mm-hmm.
about abortion and was more about privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the previous Supreme Court rulings, like things about like Brown v. Board of Education,
Mm-hmm.
you have Obergefell, you have all of the different marriage accessibilities. All of those are rooted in your
Mm-hmm.
right to privacy. So when they start making these overarching, overwhelming, independent decisions, mind you, this is not the job of the fucking Supreme Court. Don't really know why they're allowed to keep doing this, but whatever. Um,
Why are they allowed to do anything? Why are any of them allowed to do what they're doing right now?
I mean,
Like,
why are they allowed to have lifetime appointments? That's just me. I don't think any office should
I
be a
don't,
lifetime appointment,
I
but
agree.
whatever. Apparently, that's too radical. So I'll just find myself on a list in a few years, whatever. Um, the reason that AI companies and like Peter Thiel and the Palantir
Mm,
freaks, first of all, how did any of you think you guys are the good guys? You picked like the bad guy from the Lord of the Rings. Like,
literally.
name your company, whatever.
If they could, they would put the Eye of Sauron in every city.
Bruh.
Like,
And
if they could.
that's what they're attempting to do with these flock cameras. And so it's like I don't think people understand the beauty that privacy is because they are operating under the, well, I have nothing to hide, so this doesn't affect me. baby,
Mm.
if nobody has privacy anymore, you would be shocked at the ways that they will find to put you in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Because let us be so clear, the 13th Amendment did ban slavery nationwide. However, there's that little asterisk at the bottom of the 13th Amendment where it doesn't apply to private prisons. Do you know how many prisons in
And
this
what was
country
one
are
of the things on
private?
their list?
Do you know what type of prisons in this country compared to public prison? Like, the
Yeah.
majority of prison in this country, which is exactly what prison and police abolitionists continue to bring up to you a lot that you don't want to fucking hear.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of them are private, which is why they can get away with slave labor, because they are the asterisks in the
Mm-hmm.
13th Amendment. Watch a documentary, god damn.
Read
It's
a
like,
book. Also, that's another thing that fascinates me because remember when Trump and his administration were like, oh, we're going to leave some things to the states. We're going to leave it to the states. We're going to leave education to the states. We're going to leave abortion to the states. Well, this just proves that it was never about leaving it to the states. It was about dismantling one, our right to privacy, and also to further push and divide. Because look at this, how the southern states are moving right now, especially Texas.
oh, they said, let's bring back Jim Crow immediately, and they sure
So
did.
immediate, they wasted no time, no time. So I will say over. Well, actually, let's just hop into what really got us here. So there was a leak um, of a current nominee for attorney general. He's currently the acting attorney general, Todd Blanche. Um, but there was a leak of a phone call of him assuring other leaders of the religious variety that he was going to introduce or help introduce and push a national abortion ban. I'm gonna let you sit with that for a minute.
Bro, okay. So to
Right.
be clear, before everybody gets their pantaloons in a twist, because actually you should, but to be clear, let's break down exactly what he was saying to those religious leaders.
Mm-hmm.
I think the really important thing that's going over a lot of people's heads is specifically who he said he wants to work with to get this ball rolling. I think the most important government agency that he mentioned on that call is the FDA. Here's the thing. The only way to get on paper abortion ban is for it to go through Congress. They don't have the votes. Especially after the midterms, they will not have the votes to push for
Mm-hmm.
a nationwide abortion ban. So how do you ban abortion on a national scale without getting congressional approval? Why did I say it like that? Congressional approval. You get the FDA to lower the rating of mifepristone and misoprostol to where the FDA claims it is no longer, based on new research, safe for human
Mm-hmm.
ingestion. That's how you ban abortion on a national scale without ever having in writing abortion is banned nationally. Go after Big Pharma. Good luck, first of all. Do you know how fucking stupid you have to be for me to defend Big Pharma?
It's the back bends and front flips and hoops that are being jumped through to make women suffer. Because I think they think that this is just going to stop them altogether, which has always been the thought, right? They're like, oh, if we ban it, it's not going to happen. No, it'll still happen, but it's going to put women in more dangerous situations to get it,
Dude, like, to
which
be
also means more deaths.
when they try to ban stuff on a national scale, I always come back to the era of prohibition as if that
Mm-hmm.
was regarded as like the historical party decade of US history.
Mm-hmm.
Like, uh, how many fucking speakeasies do you go to in common day? Where do you think those came from? Some bitch with baby bangs on Instagram with a good idea? Like, no, speakeasies were a historical landmark throughout
Mm-hmm.
multiple major cities and like communities. Because people heard, oh, you're banning alcohol? Watch. Like,
Right. And mind you, he said, and I quote, "We don't have complete victory yet, but we will have victory, and victory will be soon, and it will be permanent."
good luck, bitch.
What is with their I feel like there's a couple things happening because whenever I like look at the news or I see like recaps from like other like news people on social media, I'm always wondering I feel like they're scrambling. The administration, they're trying to put up a front of like, yeah, we got this, we're gonna win it, but they're also scrambling at the same time because they're trying to push all this stuff from Project 2025, which I mean, they've gotten halfway through whatever percentage through Project 2025. Has all of it stuck? No. But they're trying to scramble and they're trying to make more things permanent because I think they also know that their time is limited. So, like, well, if we get this done and we get it done messy and we get it done quick and we make it permanent, then that solidifies whatever other agendas they may have individually or as an administration or whatever. But it's just that's why I come back to what I said at the beginning. What is the max? What is the cap? Because you have an attempt to nationally ban abortion in a very backdoor kind of way. And then you have did you watch Fauci's hearing at all?
I did.
Girl.
See, and this is why I think I actually, I cannot talk to stupid people anymore, and I cannot talk to people on the right. Mind you, this man ended up being the scapegoat
Mhm.
for, let's be clear, Donald Trump was president
Mhm.
when COVID was at its worst.
Mhm.
So everyone being like, oh, Fauci. Yeah, he's a scapegoat. Why do you think Joe Biden pardoned him early
Mhm.
before he could be charged with anything? Because we all knew this was going to happen. I don't understand why people are so up in arms about this man as if there weren't millions of people dying and being dropped in unmarked fucking graves because hospital morgues were overrun by dead people
Yeah.
because of a novel pandemic. These are also the sick people who don't understand that immunizations and vaccines are synonymous.
Also, can we get into that too a little bit? Because I mean, I feel like that also ties into what we're talking, like the main topic of what we're talking about too.
Yeah.
Because also as two people who were in a classroom, I've seen compared to wow, almost five years ago when I first started, I've seen such an uptick in unvaccinated kids. And when I tell you, I like sometimes I just want to be like, and for what? Like, there's multiple kids walking through the door with RSV being sent to school. Why? Like the flu, RSV, COVID still. Because let's not forget, COVID did not disappear. It's still here.
Yeah, COVID is with us just like the flu is now.
Like at this point, it's just it should be in your common yearly vaccination rotation. You get
Mhm.
that flu booster, get that flu shot, get that COVID booster, get anything else you need for the year that you have not gotten. Those every 5 year, every 2 year shots, go ahead and get them. Please. Because at the end of the day, like we don't even have herd immunity anymore to some things. And that's crazy to me.
See, and I think this
Like,
unfortunately ties into the type of teachers we are. Donovan and I are both, so I'm a special ed resident. Donovan
mhm,
is a special ed teacher. She just
mhm,
specifically teaches science. I think this goes back to people being so scared of their kids being disabled in any way, shape, or form that they'd rather have a dead kid than a disabled kid. And just be serious. You're abusing your kid. It's child abuse. You want to let your kid
Yeah.
possibly die from mumps and measles, then risk them having autism. First of all, there's no link to vaccines and autism.
There is not. There's
Just like
not.
there was no link fucking 30 years ago to red dye 40 and autism. I think a lot of you let Jenny McCarthy and her big bimbo ass lips get in your fucking ears. And it's just so beyond me. Dude, there's no link between modern medicine and autism. Just like you can't go throw your kid in a pool with a bunch of dolphins and they're cured of autism. Like this is not this pseudoscience, just because the word science is in
Mm-hmm.
pseudoscience does not make it scientific fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so many people are terrified of having potentially socially, behaviorally, cognitively, intellectually disabled kids that they would rather their kid die.
But here's my thing, and this may be controversial, and this may go in the bubble of things that y'all don't want to hear. Y'all may think is like, but they talk about not getting their kids vaccinated, right? Because ooh, they might get autism. But are we gonna address the usage of parents or usage of those who can be pregnant of different substances while pregnant?
Well, no, because then they have to take responsibility for their actions.
Exactly.
Look at
Because it's like,
look at Krayshawn's fucking baby that she had with Blueface. She doesn't want to accept responsibility for what she did to that fucking kid.
but it's like, no, I don't want to get my kid vaccinated. But uh, like, where are we gonna say, okay, like, where's the accountability? Where's the responsibility? There is none because what? We're being willingly incompetent across the board. We're not regarding our own health. We're not regarding the health of our communities. We're not regarding the health of the environment around us. Like, I it's mind-boggling and upsetting and sad all at the same time, but I just don't understand. I mean, I do, but we've gone so many steps back so quick. And I'm like, what will be the turning point? Like, when will it click for everyone? Not just the people who are like screaming from the rooftops, like we may be, like, look what's happening. You need to care. This is gonna harm you too if it hasn't already. It's gonna get all of us. I feel like anything that's being done to one specific community, everyone points and be like, oh, that's only affecting Black people. That's only affecting the Hispanic community. That's only affecting da 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 whoever. No, it's a ripple effect. It's hitting every single one of us. Anything that's done is hitting all of us, regardless of race or class. Is it going to hit more people more intensely? Sure. Is everyone going to suffer the consequences of the choices being made by this administration? Yes.
So I think
I
granted, fascism is an issue globally. We've seen it in other countries in the past. We've seen it in other countries presently. We literally have like an offspring of Mussolini in charge of fucking Italy right now. But I digress. We have a very uniquely American issue where the entire thesis of being an American is being a rich individual. That's the whole point of the American dream. No part of the
Mhm.
American dream has fuck all to do with community, with community wellness, with giving a fuck about your neighbor, which is
It's about a picket fence and having all the money.
it's about having what you specifically want.
Mhm.
You specifically and your specific civil liberties and you and you and you and you as the individual, not as family member, not as a community
Mhm.
member, not as a member of a workplace. It's all about you and only you. that is unique to America inherently because, granted, other countries are capitalistic in nature. America,
Mhm.
though, thrives on super capitalism,
Mhm.
um, wherein to be an American literally is to be born only thinking of yourself and having to be introduced to the community, the idea of community, rather than people who come from families of color, who come from families of immigrants, who, etc. Those communities inherently depend on community,
Mhm.
whereas white America does not. White America says you can be a billionaire too. No, you fucking can't. Not unless you exploit everyone you've ever known and loved. There's no way. There's no ethical way to be that fucking rich. Just like there's no ethical way, in my opinion, to be across the board pro life. I think there's no, and here's my little asterisk to that. The only way I will hear an argument from someone who is pro life is if they are so pro life across the board that they then also believe in social services for women and children, who are against war by nature, who are against genocide. I hate Candace Owens, but I will give her this. She opposes what's happening in Gaza because it contradicts with her belief in pro life. She is against a genocide that is fueled by her party because it's anti life based on her ethos. Now, bitch, I'm pro abortion. I'm not even just pro choice. I'm pro abortion. If you don't have the money for it, if you don't want it, if you I don't even, and that's the thing. I don't think you have to be assaulted. I don't think you have to be a
Mhm.
victim of incest. If you don't want that fucking baby, don't have it. I don't think you should suffer through giving birth
Mhm.
to put it up for adoption
Yep.
or to put it into foster care. Get that shit out. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Abortion is healthcare. I'm not
And
losing I'm not losing access to my reproductive organs
mhm.
for a clump of cells I don't fucking want and don't fucking know.
And that's the thing too, because I feel like a lot of pro-life people, especially when you see them out in front of the Planned Parenthoods,
Oh, blow me.
and they're right, and they're screaming about, "Oh my God, abortions, ban Planned Parenthood, defund Planned Parenthood." But let's also talk about all of the amazing things that they do besides give access to abortion. You can get cervical cancer screenings.
You can get
You can
breast
go
cancer.
full on breast cancer screenings. You can get um tested for STDs. You can get a well-rounded medical visit at a Planned Parenthood, either for free or incredibly subsidized.
Yep.
Planned Parenthood is giving you healthcare access and is making it accessible to all communities. But here they are screaming they're killing babies. Like, God forbid. And it's not just for women either.
No.
Fellas, you can go to a Planned Parenthood. Like, come on now. It's literally there for everyone. And I need especially the people over there, to stop screaming about that, because God forbid people have access to healthcare. And it still blows me that we're one of the very few countries that still does not have universal health care.
Oh,
Like,
it's beyond me. We have the money for it. We'd just rather kill children in the Middle East. But we're pro life. We're God
right,
fearing.
right.
See, and here's my tea, right? So I have had an abortion. I was 23. I got knocked up in an incredibly abusive relationship, one that I shouldn't have even been in at the time that I got pregnant. But dude, when I tell you, I think I took 5 or 6 pregnancy tests just to be sure. And like the first half were immediate, hey bitch, you're pregnant. I was on that phone with Planned Parenthood so fast. So fast. Because I knew what the rest of my fucking life was going to look like if I was chained to that man because I had to have his baby. And that is the more like middle of the road experience with why women get abortions. There are women who have too many fucking kids that they know they cannot take care of another one, so they get
Mm-hmm.
abortions. There are people who have ectopic pregnancies, who have non-viable pregnancies, who are then in certain states where abortion is illegal and where you can be charged with murder or attempted murder if you so much as fucking miscarry. And that's what really gets to me is this, but you can't claim this fetus on your taxes if you're still pregnant during tax season. You cannot ask for child support until that
Mm-hmm.
baby is born, but I can be charged with manslaughter if it's just not compatible with my body and I miscarry. Fuck you. Okay. I unfortunately realize that this, not even just administration, but this culture is being
Mm-hmm.
run by a bunch of pedophiles and sexless fucking losers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so sorry. I'm actually not sorry at all. I'm sorry for the language I'm about to use, but I am not at all sorry for what I'm about to say. It is not hard to get fucking laid that you do not have to resort to pedophilia and raping people. It is so easy to get one off. It is so easy. The problem is you're not likable. You have nothing going for you. You're a sad, sorry ass, balding cuck, and you are now stuck in a position where you have become so odious to the gender that you want to be with that they won't fuck you because they know you're evil and sad inside. And instead of self reflecting and going, what about me should I change? So that way other people might want to be around me. Other people might want to enter a relationship with me. I'm choosing nothing. I'm going to go fuck kids and rape women. That's your problem. That is your problem. There is something inherently ill and wrong with you, and you would be doing all of us a great favor by finding the nearest building over 20 stories and taking a leap. Because I'm not dying in this sorry ass country just for some dick. It's never going to happen. I'm not dying to be a mother. I do not yearn for motherhood that bad that I'm willing to put my body on the line to have it. Because Lord knows, if I'm told it is you or you and your clump of cells that you and your man made, I'm choosing me. That is the only pro life I am in that situation. I'm not dying for something anybody with reproductive organs can do. You're not getting me pregnant and risking my life because you think my only role on this god green planet.
Is to be an incubator.
I'm not okay, bro. And that's what it all boils down to. You
Yeah.
are, let's just be so
Let's
serious.
not forget the
I'm,
woman that they kept on a respirator. She was dead.
she was
But they
pregnant.
were trying to see, yeah, she was brain dead. And they were trying to see if they could use her body as an incubator.
And guess what? She and the baby died. So now what? And what's so crazy to me is that nobody sued for cruel and unusual punishment or abuse of corpse. Like, what is the point of having a constitution if nobody's going to enforce it? Like, truly.
At
What?
this point, it's just become obsolete. Like if we're being so real with the current government that we have, it's just become obsolete. It's like what's the point of it then? If you're gonna let them get away with everything, if you're gonna let them sit here and send all these troops into a war that you started, and uh, the whole, and this is another thing too, which kind of like lets me mentally prepare myself for everything that they, well, I still am not like mentally prepared whenever they say anything, but the whole like, oh, we're gonna merge the military, we're gonna have military bots or whatever that'll be like at the ready eventually, da, 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 da. Like I I feel like they're playing one big game of COD. Like that's what this, it boils down to that for me sometimes. I'm like, oh, y'all are sitting in your little chair, pressing buttons, saying send this troop here, send this troop here. Just being willy-nilly and reckless about everything, not realizing that you're putting every single person in this country's life at stake in some way. Whether you're sending them off to war, whether you're denying us access to healthcare, Whether you're taking away SNAP benefits, whether you're taking away funding for public housing, you're defunding schools. You're sitting here making a list of professions that you all consider professional. And they're trying not to put teachers on that list, which is crazy. Like, it's sick. And I feel like that's not even like a strong enough word to use. Like, sadistic. It's
It's a death cult.
literally.
It is a death cult. I think this is also part of the problem when you force yourself into, first of all, humans are community based creatures.
Yeah,
This push
we
for
should be.
individualism, no, inherently, it's in our genetic makeup. We're community based creatures.
Well, yes, but I mean the current
Uh,
state of things, like we should be, but
this push for
ugh.
individualism goes directly against human nature, um, as evident by literally
Mhm.
every inch of anthropology and sociology. Those are big words for Elmo, I know, but Google is free. Um, so when they do these things and they try to pass these legislations and they send 18-year-olds off to go die in Iran and suck the cock of Netanyahu, um, not only does that inherently go against human nature, it has we have programmed we as a the ethos of a nation have deprogrammed ourselves from thinking of the things that we do to other countries, other demographics in our own country,
Mhm.
because we don't see them face to face. We're not in a room, we're not in a stadium surrounded by all of these effective people. We're I've noticed people are having a really hard time wrapping their heads around the fact that these decisions are affecting real people.
Mhm.
I forget what the phenomenon is called, but it essentially is when you have this realization that you are literally but a speck
Mhm.
in a sea of billions of other people. And I think that that is a very beautiful thing to experience, in my personal opinion. I think realizing that you're one person surrounded by, 8 billion people, that you share this planet with 8 billion people,
Mhm.
and realizing that there are 8 billion people all around you all the time, and that you are a part of this big web, I think that's a very wonderful feeling to have. It's my favorite feeling, knowing that I am so small in a sea so big.
Mhm.
However, this country has convinced however fucking many millions of people live here that this is a teeny tiny little puddle and they are a very big fish. And so what they need is the most important. What they do is the most important. And then they forget that all of the things that they're doing affects all of the other little flecks all around them. When I see what this government does, militarily speaking,
Mhm.
I think about human beings, living, breathing human beings that have dreams like I do, that have goals like I do, that have families like I do, that have siblings and nieces and nephews and friends, who have bachelor's degrees and have favorite restaurants and have favorite makeup products and who spend time tweezing their eyebrow. I think about all of the little intricacies of what it means to be a human being.
Mhm.
And then I think about the waste of life that they now get to experience or not experience at all because their life is cut too fucking short. Because some fat man with a toupee and a bad spray tan pressed a button and said, bomb that school, bomb that region, blow up these
Mhm.
kids. And if you think that I just have smoke for Trump, I don't. I have beef with Obama too, just as I have beef with Joe Biden. I've got beef with all these fucking people. But like, y'all are out here forgetting there are human beings just
Mhm.
like you affected by every single thing we do that lets these people do what they do.
Mhm.
Trump didn't get elected in a vacuum. Now, do I have suspicions about the 2024 election? Yes. But regardless, people like Trump don't happen in a vacuum. People like Elon Musk don't happen in a vacuum. People like Peter
Mm-hmm.
Thiel don't happen in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Name one. Name one person. Name one single fucking fascist that we're all dealing with on this day. It happens because you let them happen. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of you let these fucking on record liars tell you about what you need. And instead of having any thought, any critical thinking skill, and going, that sounds
That sounds wrong.
that
That
sounds
sounds
weird.
off.
You went, oh, that sounds good for me, personally. That sounds good for me and what I want. And that's what really blows me is y'all are all up in arms about I don't like when the government tells you what to do, but you're totally fine with the government telling everyone else what to do.
Right.
You're a part of it, bitch. What are you gonna do? What are you? God fucking forbid that this fucking man ends up getting the FDA to downgrade the safety of mifepristone and misoprostol, and you can't covertly order abortion pills when you found out that you have an ectopic pregnancy that is going to eviscerate your reproductive organs. How pro-life are you going to be when your doctor cannot safely remove a 5 week old fetus from your reproductive organs and all you've ever wanted to be is a mother? And there goes half of your uterus, one of your ovaries, and one of your fallopian tubes because you had to wait for it to rupture and almost kill you. How far into sepsis do you want to get? When you're on a ventilator, is that far enough? How about when you code?
And you know they don't think this far, which is also the crazy part to me.
What are you going to do if your daughter gets fucking raped by your brother or something? Because that is the case of incest that people refer to when they ask for little asterisks on these bans. When somebody you grew up with your whole fucking matter of fact, what about your childhood best friend who thinks your 17-year-old daughter is a valid place to stick his dick in? And now you have to look at your 17-year-old and know that your grandbaby is going to be a result of rape. Y'all talk about wanting a total ban, but when you're dying, how strong are your morals? Because that's the thing. A lot of these people aren't going to die for what they believe in.
No, none of them will.
Let me be so clear. If I'm pregnant against my will and that pregnancy is going to kill me, I will kill myself. You will not kill me by force. When I say I will die for what I believe in, I will not be forced into motherhood. I will not be forced into carrying a non viable fetus. You want the fetus so bad, hook me up to something if you can find the rest of my fucking head when I blow it off. You all are a fucking joke, and you want to use women as cattle to raise white babies. White women aren't even the ones that want to be pregnant right now.
Which is the gag of it all, isn't it?
Like, you know what? And that's the thing. Men always want these, like, they want these traditional roles. First of all, you're a fucking assistant manager at a CVS. You're making $80 an hour. Who are you providing for? There is not one state in the country where you can afford a house on $18 an hour to raise your dumb babies in that you're not going to vaccinate anyway. So it's like men want these traditional roles, they want these traditional provider roles, but then want to sit on their ass and not actually work. They want to go to fucking what's this fuck? Kaisina Streamer University and learn how to be baby Andrew Tate. When it's like, and that's the thing. It's like, how many times do women have to tell you they don't want that? Even pick me bitches don't want to fuck you anymore. Do you know how bad of a man
That
you
and
have?
that's when you know it's bad.
Do you know how bad of a man you have to be that a pick me bitch doesn't want you? You're all so concerned about the wrong things when really you're just a fucking moral failure of a person. So the result is you want to like rape women into submission. Good luck. A lot of women carry these days. A lot of women look up to
We can
Eileen
fight.
Wuornos.
Keep
A lot,
that thing on us at all times.
a lot of women look up to Lorena Bobbitt and Eileen Wuornos. They would sooner shoot and cut your cock off than be caught dead being assaulted by you lot. Myself included. You think I won't stab someone to get away from being sexually assaulted? You think I won't mace and then beat the ever loving shit out of you?
To a pulp.
Like, what the hell? And that's the thing. It's like, a lot of you men are fucking dumb. Because, let's be so clear, a lot of women, God fucking forbid, that they can get the FDA to convince Big Pharma to stop selling abortion medication. Which good luck, bro. Anytime anyone wants to go against Big Pharma, I have to laugh. It's almost harder than going against Big Tobacco and the alcohol business. Um,
The big three.
dude, it's like you guys are stupid, but God fucking forbid they succeed. Women will stop having casual sex. Women will stop having sex before marriage. Women will, even if they're married, will stop having sex. Once you tell a woman that to have sex is to risk her life, she'll stop fucking you.
Hmm.
And a lot of men will view that celibacy as a fucking challenge. And if they can't convince, they'll take. But I don't think a lot of men realize that women are furious.
The
Women,
rage has been boiling for a very long time.
and of course, you still have those fucking birds out there who are gonna do whatever to keep a man happy, which is crazy to me. I hate seeing men happy. But if you thought the male loneliness issue was bad now,
Just wait.
take a woman's right to safe health care away.
And it's a wrap.
And I say safe on purpose because a ban will not stop women from getting
Hmm.
abortions. Just like they tried to make it so you couldn't cross state lines, women are doing that anyway. America's not the only country you can get an abortion in. And a lot of women don't show those first few months anyway, so you can't fucking prove that they're not pregnant. Because you also legally cannot compel someone to give you blood or urine. So good fucking luck. Good fucking luck. A lot of women are gonna die as a result of this. And those that don't die are likely looking into self defense classes and FOID card and
Yeah.
gun safety classes because we
It's
are
time.
like, bro, fucking 70 years ago, your grandparents were throwing hot grits on each other.
Bring that back.
Now women are
Bring
just
it
gonna
back.
now women are just gonna beat the dog shit out of you because you're 5'6", uncircumcised, and you smell like shit. You have no personality. You woke up and decided to play Nazi at 16, and now you're 30 and nobody likes you. Well, women ask for
It's
it
despicable.
because they keep embarrassing us. Stop being embarrassing, and there's nothing that can embarrass you.
And I feel like their thought behind they're embarrassing us. What? I have a job and like thoughts of my own. Like I have hobbies and passions. Because 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, I've found that that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like you're smart, you have a degree, you have a good job, you have things that you like, and you have thoughts of your own. That's a threat.
Well, you could have
That's
that.
crazy.
You could have that too if you liked yourself.
Like You too could have those things if you put that energy into yourself.
But they won't. They think as a man they're the prize. I've never met a man a day in my life that's a prize.
No.
Matter of fact, I've never met
It's
a day in my life that I would chase after,
no,
let alone
no.
what I thought was a prize.
It's delusions of grandeur.
Dude, anytime I meet a
Like,
man is when I swing a he duck, okay? Like,
ah, yeah. Um, well, y'all,
such fucking lasers. Do you have a diva detention this week?
I feel like this whole episode was our diva detention. I don't.
You know what's crazy? I'm not done hating. I do have a diva detention.
You know what? While you're doing yours, I'll think of one for me then, because I've just been thinking about this for the past like 2 days.
Girl,
Who's your diva
actually,
detention?
um, oh my god, this sucks. This sucks so bad. And I'm furious about the topic, but I'm also furious at women for making me have to be mad at you to have this conversation. There's been a big discourse as of late about why refusing to date bi men is biphobic and that like refusing.
What?
Yeah, a lot of women are misusing the use of preference, first of all. But a lot of women are saying that it's not homophobic or biphobic to not want to date bisexual men. But then when they're pressed on that, they're like, it's just a preference. Well, is the preference that you don't like bisexual men? Because if it has anything to do with their sexuality is the reason you won't date them, it is biphobic.
Right.
So now I have to get up here and fucking defend men, and I'm pissed. Um, I'm a queer woman, and I've been told by women and men that they would never date me seriously because I'm queer and bisexual and pansexual, whatever you want to call it. I just say queer because I like it all. If you want to
Word.
assign a label to it, that's your business. That's not mine. Um, but I think what it boils down to is I think some women view penetrative sex as dirty. And so the
Okay.
thought of a man that they're with being penetrated potentially makes them view them as less masculine because they themselves are used to being penetrated by men. I think it's a whole lot of hullabaloo. Frankly, I'm sick of the queer discourse. We go through this
Who
every year.
started this?
There's a bunch of women on TikTok right now. I've blocked
Ugh,
several of them because I just can't fucking hear it. I really can't. I can't listen to it. That
it's
block button
always
and I
that
are
phone. It's always TikTok.
that block button and I are like this. Um yeah, there's a rather large discourse amongst straight women and somehow the entire queer community has united on this, which never happens. Um
Wait, on who's on the whole on not the straight women's side.
no.
Okay. I
No.
was like, wait, they've mobilized on whose behalf?
Um,
But obviously,
us
yeah,
queers are sticking together.
where I love that.
But I think so somebody had made a point where they basically were like, we're not asking you to like have this conversation, then go out and like have sex with a bunch of bisexual men.
Mhm.
Like nobody's saying that.
Mhm.
What's being asked of you is to look inward on why you think bisexual men are
Mhm.
less of a man
Mhm.
and why you won't date bisexual men. And if
Mhm.
you come to realize that your answer is because they sleep with the same sex, then you have some internalized phobias,
Right.
bigotry that you need to then work out. Here, I've dated bisexual men in the past. It's fun. They're a fun time. You want to know why? Because they're just men.
Right.
like, 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 you know what? Like, and that's the thing is like, I don't ask about people's sexual preferences. That's not my
Mhm.
business. If you're into me and I'm into you, good enough.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just so beyond me. Like, okay, so maybe before you, your boyfriend had a boyfriend, and you make out with your friend at Prism. Like, what the fuck?
Not at Prism.
Like, you make out with your friends to try to get into a section. Like, just admit that you're a little homophobic. I think a lot of these women, though, are having a hard time saying out loud
Mm-hmm.
that they may have some unchecked bigotry
Mm-hmm.
because they want to be like super woke. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
but then on the other hand, a lot of these women are like, you're trying to coerce us into having sex with bisexual men and now you're being predatory. No, bitch, we're asking you to look inward
To check yourself.
and check your biases. If you date a
Coercion
man,
crazy.
like, what the fuck? If you were to go, and here's the thing, I've gone on dates with men that I found out after the fact were bisexual. Didn't give a fuck, first of all. But I was like, oh, okay. Want
Right.
to still get coffee or like, what does it matter to you? And then they try to say, well, I'm heterosexual, so I'm only attracted to other heterosexuals. That's not what the word
That's
means.
not how that works.
That's not what the word means.
That's not how that
Ooh,
works.
and then I saw a comment that said, why are women being called biphobic for not wanting to date bisexual men, but heterosexual men are not being called biphobic for not wanting to date bisexual men? Because they're heterosexual men and wouldn't be dating the men anyway.
Right.
Dumbass.
I don't think, again, back to what you said earlier, words used to mean things.
Words still do mean things. These bitches just can't read.
Well, exactly. Words used to mean things to a majority of people. There's a very small community of us now that actually look at words and understand their meaning and how they work. I can't say that for for the rest of the public, but that's not how that works, y'all.
If you can't have me at my bush, you don't get me at my balls. Because what the fuck do you mean? Also, let's be so clear. A preference cannot be rooted in something that somebody can't change.
It, but you know, that's all they use when they talk about preferences now. And
Like,
like in date, like, oh, I prefer to date white women over, or like
no, you
it
were.
was some sort of race group
Yeah.
over another.
See, what
Like
if I've noticed with the race thing, it's like I won't date black women. That's my preference. When it's like, no, that's not a preference. That's a requirement.
that exactly.
And because it's a requirement, it's rooted in bigotry. Stupid.
Exactly.
My preference is I don't. Okay, I prefer
Mhm.
women over men, but I will
Mhm.
not date men,
Mhm.
as evidenced by my relationship. I prefer chocolate over strawberry ice cream, but I will still eat
Exactly.
strawberry ice cream. That's how we use the word preference.
Mhm.
I require men to talk to me nice when they come
Mhm.
in my orbit.
Mhm.
Because if they don't, I make them leave. That's not a
Right.
preference, it's a requirement. I require my man to open my doors when I'm walking in and out of buildings, or to
Mhm.
open the door to
Mhm.
my Uber. I require the use of glasses to fucking see. I don't prefer
Mhm.
glasses.
They don't get that, girl. Which is deeply concerning at our
I'm
big
so
age.
sick of stupid people.
Like,
I'm so sick of stupid people. And I really don't like to comment on intelligence levels because I think there's a lot more to a human being than their intelligence. However,
however,
stupid people need to get the fuck off the internet with platforms. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm even at the point where now I require to argue with me, you have to have a college degree.
yeah. You have to
By
read too. Like,
an,
read. Yeah.
by an accredited university, not a Christian
Yes.
college, not a Christian
Mhm.
college. You, in order to argue with me, now need to have a bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear about no associates.
No. No.
I don't want to hear it. I've been in school now for what? Fucking 9 years. Please. I have 9 years of higher education under my belt. Get the fuck out of here.
2 master's degrees.
If you've never seen what JSTOR looks like, get the fuck out of my face. If Google
Oh my
Scholar
god.
is a novel concept to you, don't talk to me. You cannot argue with
I've
me if you don't have a bachelor's degree minimum. I will give you an hour of my time with a bachelor's degree. I will give you an hour and a half if you have one master's degree. And then if you have more degrees than me, we can argue all day.
Okay. Flex,
Yeah.
as you should.
Fucking good luck, though.
Right. Right.
I wish
That's
you would.
wow. I I still don't have a diva detention. I was gonna talk about the discourse, some more like music discourse, but I feel like it's not worth it. So yeah, that's all I have. I just looked over here to Clay is literally shrimp shaped as he's sleeping. Like just
I wish I could do that.
me too. Um I don't know. I feel like especially with the current state of things, I'm about to start hitting that gym and lifting some weights so I can, be on my Thor, you know.
I know that's right.
But listen, folks, that's all we got for you this week. We hope it was nourishing for your thoughts in some way. Um,
If you were mad about anything we spoke about this week, die. Because I'm not arguing
just
with you.
like this is not the place. We've said that multiple times at this point. This is not the place for you if you can't handle these kind of conversations. Um,
I'm not arguing with y'all anymore.
no, and we don't even have a comment. I mean, we do have a comment section, but we're not arguing in our own comment section. That's crazy. Um, yeah, so we got some more things to do. Go ahead, get out the stall. Don't forget to wash your hands. We installed a new hand dryer.
We
You can
did.
use that on your way out.
It's a Dyson.
Um, it is. It is. Maybe, we'll add a couple spa items as we go along. But, at the end of the day, get out. We love you. Listen wherever you can find podcasts. We're everywhere at this point. And that's all.
The end.
Bye. Oh.
Bye. Oh,
Oh,
wait.
bye. Is there more?
Follow us on social media.
Oh, right. TikTok, Instagram, follow the pod, follow us, etc., etc. Okay.
That's it for real now. Goodbye.
Bye.